was watching a little footage of my last set of the day, give it a little critique. Strength feels really good. I've had a bunch of active release therapy done. Basically, it just entails somebody like digging in on your shit really hard. And they've been digging in on my pecs a lot, my elbows, even my shoulders and lats a bunch. To try to get me to open up a little bit better for squats and for bench pressing, and also just so my pecs aren't so tight all the time. And so because of that, I have some kind of residual damage done to the pec. This is my good pec, and it's bruised up pretty bad. And so trying to bench today was pretty uncomfortable, even though I got the work done on like Tuesday or something like that. But once I got in the gym today, I started out this whole workout with the COMPEX unit, just to kind of wake up the muscles. Any of you guys out there that have any sort of muscle stim machine type thing, throw that shit on you before a workout. Get those muscles woken up before you start your training session. I happen to have one, and I happen to think it's great, and so I try to use it as much as possible. I use it 2 or 3 times a day. I not only use it to wake the muscles up before the workout, I also use it later on in the day. Most people use it for recovery. I actually use it for strength, and I put it on the resistance setting, and I increase the resistance over a period of time, and I try to work on individual muscles, such as like my biceps are kind of lagging behind. I can no longer flex them the way that I'd like because I tore them. Same with the pecs, kind of same thing. I want to get more attention. Those of you may have trouble firing certain muscles, firing the triceps, firing the shoulders, firing the glutes. May have a hard time firing specific muscles. Something like a COMPEX unit can be great. I jumped on that thing today before starting to work out for about 15 minutes or so. Went outside, did some real easy light warming up, did some high knee action, both forward, backwards, side to side, and also some backwards strides I was doing as well. Came back inside the gym. I was outside for maybe about 12 to 15 minutes or so. Came inside the gym, threw on the hip circle, and a lot of times the hip circle, when I put it on, I'm just going back and forth talking to one person or another about, you know, somebody's visiting the gym or whatever. In between that, I might pop out a couple squats with it. Overall, I probably have the hip circle on for another 10 minutes or so. Once I finished with that, I got into some squats, and I wore the hip circle for a bunch of the warm-up sets until I got to about 315. And once I got to 315, I added the box and performed 8 sets of 4 reps. Midway through, I added some chains just to add some variation. Today's a day where I'm allowed to use some variation on my squats, and so the variation I chose today was some box squats, and then I also decided to add a little bit of chain weight in there just to mix things up a little bit. That probably took, with the warm-up, that probably took about 40 minutes, maybe a little longer. Then I moved into, I'm never really concerned on how long it takes, because time is not an issue. It's just a matter of me just getting my stuff done. I will get it done at some point. I don't care how long it takes. I'll make sure it gets done. If I have to stay here at the gym all day and eat food and drink and to do whatever I need to do to kind of to make sure that I finish everything up, I'll do that. And on some occasions, I will save some of the assistance work for the next day. Moved right into bench pressing after the squat, just like you do in a powerlifting meet. And today it was a competitive bench that I did, and I did 5 sets of 3 reps. By competitive bench, I mean as done in competition. Held all the weights at the top for a 1 count, brought the weight down, paused it for a second, pressed the weight back up to lockout, held it at the top for a second, and then racked the weight. I performed 5 sets of 3 reps today with 385 pounds. I then moved into 2 sets of 8 reps, bodybuilding style, with the same exact weight. So, and again, you know, just the pec is a little raw just from getting some of that work done to it. The benching probably took another 40 minutes or so. So you're starting to look at a workout that starts to take a really long time. If you're following along at home, again, here at Super Training Gym, I never try to sway you away from whatever program it is that you're doing. A lot of programs are effective. It's just a matter of being consistent and doing them for a long time. But I do highly advise that you start to embrace some of these principles of warming up. Warming up has been around forever. It's nothing new. It's just that I think it's something that got lost in the shuffle. Somehow lifting weights became a very recreational hobby type of thing, and therefore recreational things such as going out to a river with your buddies, or jumping off a cliff or some shit like that, something that you may pick up on the weekend, even a pickup game of basketball is not going to, normally people wouldn't think to really like warm up for those activities. But lifting weights is by no means in that category. And if you're trying to strength train and you're trying to get better and you're trying to get more strongest, then you fucking need to warm up severely. So if you're running into some plateaus, you're running into some injuries, you're running into some sticky parts on certain body parts, your knees, your elbows, your hips, shit like that, you got to take care of that stuff now. And in my opinion, the best way to do it is to make sure that you're getting to your warm-up. When you're done with your training session, a little bit of a cool down would be great. Cooling down could be as simple as just doing a couple stretches. Make an agreement with yourself that you're going to do 2 or 3 types of stretches at the end of a training session. You don't need to be in here all day the way that I am, but it's going to take a great commitment. It's going to take a lot of time and effort if you want to be great at this sport. Strength is never a weakness, and that is it from Super Training Gym. Whoosh.